Seer is not beginner friendly, and here's why. This is John. He lost a game as a werewolf because the stupid stinky seer that hasn't taken a shower in 5 years found all of his werewolf team. And now he's pissed and angry because he lost a game because of a single roll. Well, why wouldn't you? So he goes to feedback to suggest a nerf for the seer. And then here's what happened. And then a helper comes in and says,
Actually, seer is a balanced run and it's a beginner friendly run, so it doesn't need any nerf. It's
Denied.
so does many people think so. It's beginner friendly, it's balanced, and it doesn't need a nerf. Or does it? So in this video I'll be explaining why seer isn't beginner friendly. Now on to the first reason. It makes an evil feel less confident. Well, the problem with being new to a game as an evil is, well, not just evil, but being new to a game generally. Well, the problem is not skill issue. The problem is being confident to doing something. Like, how many games have you played when you were a beginner and you wanted to do something but you're afraid to do so? Such as you were a serial killer, but you don't know who to push and you don't want to, like, be aggressive so that you won't be suspicious or push for a mislynch. Yeah, you will feel less confident as a beginner, and that's alright. Or as a witch, you want to kill someone, but you're not confident enough to kill that player because you don't know if that player is an evil or not. So you have less confidence in yourself that you will kill an evil. And that's alright, since you're just new. You don't know what to do. Now onto the topic. Now, have you felt confident enough to push back the seer who checked you? Like, you're trying to cause some chaos and to push back the seer and they checked you. Well, the seer already knows you're evil and most likely seer is trustable for some reason. So you can't really push back, and either because you're less confident or yeah, you're probably less confident because you know that people will trust the seer, so you'll backpedal and fumble. And have you ever felt confident in claiming something bold, but afraid that the seer will check you because you're a bit suspicious? As a beginner, yeah, I've had this feeling, and I wanted to claim something bold before, but when I was suspected, well, one check from the seer and it's all over because my claim is a bold claim means nothing at all. Oh, unless yeah, and also the fact that. Like one CC from something and you'll most likely get checked by a seer and then you lose. Well, you won't really lose unless you can recover, but yeah, you know what I mean. So because of that, some evils resort to using silence so that they will not drag much attention on themselves. But regardless of that, they'll get checked even if they go silent because they don't want attention on themselves. Well, yeah, if they don't want attention on themselves so that the seer won't check them, although it might work, but most of the time it won't because in late game they'll figure out what you are. So is that what you call a beginner friendly role? A role that makes evils, well, new players who are evils, being less confident of themselves, and so they have to resort to silence so that they don't get caught. But eventually they'll get caught anyway, even if they stay silent. With a single check, you're confident. Yeah, but most of the time you'll not do anything because they're not confident enough to do something. And with the seer around, one check from the seer and you can't do anything unless you can actually recover them from something and you know what you're doing. However, most of the time, so in conclusion, seer removes your confidence from doing something and so you resort. Now onto the second reason. Everyone are too reliant to the seer. Were you at some point in the period where everyone or you relied on the seer for a win? Were you at some point in the game where you had a game where the seer found all evil and you didn't do much to contribute? Anything at all? Like you didn't find the evil by yourself or anyone? Well, let me tell you something. So, everyone are too reliant on the seer, so you will not learn to play well in a way you won't have to rely on the seer. So, an example is, medium players will always revive the seer because they think that they need the seer for a win. And they don't, and by that they won't contribute much except for reviving the seer, to which they have to rely because they think it's their win condition. Or the priest watering based on the seer's information instead of an information they could have provided for themselves. However, they will most likely think that they need the seer's information to actually make a good water, while they don't even need a seer's information just so they can make a good shot. Or the doctor will mostly always protect the seer because they'll think that the seer is important for their win condition, while there are other protectors and they need other people to protect. So in that case, most of the time, all of the protector will spend their protecting one person, and that is the seer, instead of having to protect anyone that needs to be protected, such as confirmed goods, or even important roles such as the jailer or the medium. So what do all these players type have in common? They think seer is very important for their win condition. And another thing is that players hate roll calling because they think that they have this here, so they have no reason to roll call. And it isn't just that villagers are always reliant on the seer and think that they need the seer for the win condition. Is that what you call a beginner-friendly role? A role that everyone are too reliant on, and they think that they need this role just for a win condition. Like, when they actually don't need the seer just for their win condition. Like, you can actually make a strategy yourself, and you can try to lead the town without needing a seer at all. Like, you don't even need the seer at all just for a win condition. You can actually play without the seer. Now, on to the third reason. Well, you won because seer found all the werewolves. Well, good game, but what did you actually learn from having a seer check all the werewolves and then winning? How much did you contribute? What did you do? Well, in that case, you did nothing. Nothing at all. And what did you learn? Nothing as well. What do you actually learn from waiting until the seer checks all evil and then you get your deserved win and XP? What do you actually learn from playing too passively and on voting only when seer finds an evil? What do you actually learn from it? And then you as an evil being too afraid to do something because of the seer, and then being silent so you won't attract attention toward yourself. And it hindered you from playing strategically and playing in a way you want to play. It also doesn't let you learn how to defend yourself while being checked, or even faking informative role, or faking generally, or whatever it could be. Like, you learn how to play a strategy because seer, when the seer just checks everyone, and especially you as an evil. Like, do you actually learn something from when a seer checks everyone and then you have to rely on the seer and then you play passively? While also being passive in a game like this one, it's actually bad to be passive since wolves will take control. But the problem with wolves being able to take control is that they'll be afraid to do so because the seer can just simply check them. And also the thing is, when they do something or someone CCs you're basically like done for. Like, you can't do anything at all, and you basically won't learn anything. And is that what you call a beginner-friendly role? A role that doesn't teach you anything, but instead makes your win easy? A beginner-friendly means it's supposed to teach you something easily and faster, not give you an easy win and then you learn nothing from it. Number 4, there is absolutely no fighting chance for the seer. Now, imagine being found day 1, where a seer checks you, Well, you're supposed to like fight back, but the thing is, you can't really fight back against someone who knows your role and someone everyone trusts. Supposedly you're Oris here and you checked either a werewolf fan or sorcerer or instigator or etc etc etc. And then you find these two roles to be good. Well, that's their aura, so you'll most likely assume that they're actually villager. However, you can detect that they're actually not villager later. Though, meanwhile, with the seer, you will know that the werewolf fan and sorcerer are evil, and they'll have no fighting chance. Although based on the sorcerer's claim, you will know that they're either sorcerer or not. However, with the seer, um, the the roles with good aura, you will see their exact roles, so you'll know that they're evil. Now, ignoring with the role with good auras, well, let's see what if you claim a role that the seer has checked. So let's say, for example, you claimed sheriff as a werewolf and seer checked actual sheriff. Well, now what? You're basically dead because the sheriff knows someone's exact role. Now let's. And once I've asked this question, is it game throwing if you don't defend yourself when being suspected? And I was replied with, don't know if it's throwing, but this answer caught me off. And that is, but if seer checks you, it's over. Well, that answer is basically them admitting that seer has no chance to be fought back compared to other informer, and basically seer is mostly unbalanced and not beginner friendly by people who are just new as werewolves when checked by seer. However, you might say that this also applies to other informer, but here's the thing. Overseer is easily fakeable, especially with an RV, and most of the time new players have the idea but that Overseer claims are Headhunter. If at least there's two auras here, but won't really care if there is one that is the only aura, and there is no vigilante. Although most of the time, if there's a headhunter in your game, you might say that the aura here is the headhunter. However, unless a headhunter claims, although if a headhunter is actually trying to go for a win, then mostly the real Oris here is going to be ignored. Well, now let's go on with Detective. Now, as for Detective, you can just have a claim that can be bold or roll fixed in the roll list. And you can push the other player as an evil. And you can live for at least 1 or 2 more days. Now, is that what you call a beginner-friendly role? A role that has no chance of fighting back? And now, that's especially true with players who have known the game for a little bit. In my opinion, players should actually learn how to counteract villains. So yeah, in conclusion, the seer, that's the end of the video, but in conclusion, the seer is only beginner friendly to the player playing as a seer. And most of the time, it is not even a beginner friendly role. It's mostly just a role that can give you easy win. But in my opinion, informers shouldn't be the main reason for winning. And to be honest, sitting there and doing nothing to contribute is not my cup of tea. Yeah, anyway, this is the end of the video, and I hope you enjoy the video. So, if you actually like the video, why not like the video? And if you enjoy the overall content, well, why not subscribe? So, anyway, I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.